Hey everybody, this is Auntie. Let's get into this episode of Auntie. Say it isn't so, say it isn't so. Gladys Knight style. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. To all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. As many of you may know, on August the 13th of this year, 2025, Gladys Knight's son accused her husband of elder A amid health concerns. And TSR did an investigation on it. Sometimes you have to sit back, stand down, and wait until a story unfolds before you report it. This is one of those stories that kind of got to me because many of you all know, right? I grew up as many of you all did on Gladys Knight and the Pips, okay? Back in the day. So it was very disheartening to hear that Gladys Knight was possibly being treated wrongfully by her husband, who, of course, many have noted is, I believe, 25 years old, her junior. And so when his story came out from TSR, from the Shade Room, I just was like, oh my goodness, like what is really going on? I watched him on the screen as he began to discuss. So I'm going to give you some of the highlights of what he is accusing his mother of. Her son, whose name is Shanga, I believe it is, Shanga, Hankerson, believes that his 81-year-old mom is showing signs of cognitive decline. In addition to that, he believed that her husband, William McDowell, was abusing the singer, forcing her to perform despite her condition. Y'all, he made a lot of allegations, and I'm just going to cover some of them. According to him, Gladys Knight had been married to William McDowell for nearly 25 years. Their relationship has been a rocky relationship, and most recently, her Gladys Knight's son accused Dow of manipulating others into believing his mother is fit for continued performances. As we all know, she has been taking the stage recently, and she is on tour. Per her son, okay, um, she made some headlines for reportedly forgetting lyrics and taking long pauses while on stage. In addition, he even said that Larry Ward, who is Gladys Knight's road manager and has been with her for a long time, he alleged that he broke down in tears, seemingly over Gladys' apparent deterioration during a conversation back in 2004. And that conversation was quoted as being said like this: the band played about 2 or 3 extra bars. And he said that he recalled watching his mother perform on one occasion and she zoned out. The background singer started singing, and that brought her back. They're having to rewind the teleprompters because his mom is forgetting to even look at them. Now, these are some really strong accusations. Hey, Tamika. Tamika says, I hope this is not true. Love me some Gladys. I'm also skeptical of her son because he had some accusations as well a few years ago. And we will be discussing that, won't we? Oh, yes, we will. This is Auntie said this and so. So, I done looked up a little bit on her. Okay. Thank you, Tamika, so much for being here. Let me just recognize while I'm doing that, Yazelle, Yolanda, Ray Della, the hardest working woman on YouTube. Okay, and I think that's all I see. Let me give an honorable mention to Chantaria. Hey, boo, glad you are here. So we are going to be discussing that. So, according to Gladys Son, William McDowell became her manager shortly after they got married back in 2001. He says that in the following years, he believes that her husband intruded on on his mom's relationship. I beg to differ. I think that what intruded on their relationship had something to do with the chicken and waffles joint, but we'll get to that. He said, in addition, his mom's angelic personality had turned more aggressive. And he said, not knowing where she is, not knowing where William is a big trigger for her. And that's my biggest issue because he manipulates that to the fullest and not in a good way. She's being made to think she needs to work. Now, this is what her son told TSR. Okay. I've seen Gladys Knight lately. Okay. Let me just say this. Okay. I'm not going to say that I don't think some of this, I don't, I am not going to say that I have not seen a difference in Gladys Knight performance. I have a friend who has attended almost every Gladys Knight concert on the East Coast. If she is in this area anywhere, he's going. And he did discuss, from his perspective, that the last show that he went to see Gladys, and I want to say it was last year or the year before last, he said that he would not attend another one. And he said that because he felt like she just wasn't the Gladys Knight that he had been seeing for over 20 years. And it really broke his heart because he is one of the biggest Gladys Knight fans that I've known. I have honestly never seen Gladys Knight in concert ever, but he is there every time. I have another friend. If Stevie Wonder is anywhere around, he's going. But he said that when he went, she was not the same person. And he was really disappointed. And he said, I want to see her at her best. And this concert made me believe I don't need to go to any more. I don't want to see her fumbling on the stage or, missing her cues and, things like that, forgetting the words seemingly to him. I recently went to a concert. I think it was last year. I want to say it was last year or even the year before last. I went to go and see Shaka Khan at the Jazz Fest. And I must say, I am a huge Shaka Khan fan. And I felt the same way. Like, this is the last time I'm going to see Shaka. Like her background singers. Well, they were mentioning that Gladys Knight's background singers were singing for her as well. And there was like a pause where she wasn't singing and stuff. Allegedly, but I know for me at Shaka Khan's concert at the Jazz Fest in Columbia, can't think of what it is, but if somebody is from this area, they'll know. Meriwether Post Pavilion. I was so like, what is going on? She was missing her cues. She wasn't singing. She was just yelling that famous Shaka Khan yell. And I was like, what is going on? And so I wasn't saying anything because the person that was with me, the young man that was with the gentleman that was with me, is a big Shaka fan too. And I think that both of us was in shock. I think a lot of people were, right? Because usually at a Shaka concert, I'm not even sitting down. Like, I'm up screaming and hollering and singing. And neither of us was doing that. And a lot of people weren't, in my opinion. She just wasn't her best. And I was like, I will not go and see her again. I didn't know what was going on, but I just was like, this is not the Shaka that I've seen over the years. And I know that, when you get older, you deteriorate, and certain things you're not as sharp as you used to be. It could depend on your diet or whatever. I know even for me, sometimes I'm not at my best, and I am absolutely not 30 anymore, right? And so there are some things that's going to be slipping, right? You just not the sharpest tool in the tool case. You're just not. There are things that change, and you got to go with the flow. I'm finding myself making notes and doing reminders, and can't remember phone numbers. Just, and I mean, not at a rate where I don't remember nobody's phone number. Now, don't get it twisted. I don't want the word to go out there on the curb wrong. But you just not, how you used to could rattle off phone numbers. I think that, with modern technology. So I come from the generation where we was walking around with paper notebooks, right? And we had our little phone books. Y'all remember buying the cute little phone books, and they had all the little tabs on it. You flip to the B's when you want to call somebody with so with modern technology, you don't have to remember anything anymore. You just look at the person's name, push the number, and the phone calls. So, those skills that we used to have back in the day, we've let go of those skills of remembering things and knowing people's phone numbers by heart. There's some people's phone numbers I can rattle off the top of my head, right? Because I call them so much. But then there are other people's I got to go to my index on my thing, right? You just know that there's certain things you just not. You still are functional, right? But you just not as sharp as you used to be. And these women have been performing for years. They are icons. They are legends. And for me, because I came up in that era, right? With Motown and all that kind of stuff, right? You want to see them at their best. And when he said that he is not going to another Gladys concert, I was shocked. But he was just as shocked when I said, I don't think I'm going to another Shaka. As much as I love Shaka Khan. But anyway, having said that, when the story first came out, I was like, well, maybe she is in decline, right? We don't live forever. And yeah, we do lose some things when we get older. And so I looked at it, but then I was like, but isn't this the same son? Isn't this the same son that Gladys has some issues with? Can we trust him to do the right thing by his mother? Y'all know how it is. Okay, so Mama Mo said last time I saw Shaka Khan, before this Queen's tour, her daughter had to come out and help her sing some songs. It's me, Angie said, I think that they think we're satisfied enough with just their presence on stage. That's not enough. Absolutely. Crystal says, I used to remember everyone's number. Now I can't. I'm 59, so it is what it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all know I just celebrated 60 years. You just not right. You just not. Shantaria said, I seen Miss Patty a few years back, and them vocals was still amazing. I think that there's certain gifts that you don't lose, right? But Patty, come on now. We've all seen Patty miss them cues and not know them words. Much better today, said. I want them to all get their coins, but I will not go see George Clinton again. We are not teenagers anymore. Okay. Hey, Lisa and Lynn, you right on time. So I just was like, is this the same son that was having problems with Gladys Knight with the chicken and waffles? And how credible is this son? This is just a question that I had to ask myself, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie about it. Y'all know when we come out here and we have our discussions, I'm gonna be straight up all the way. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna, be fake about it. Is this the same daggone son? He had shared some text messages about his mom. Let me see if I can pull those up real quick, y'all. Give me grace, and let me see if I can pull up these because he explained on TSR why he decided to file a formal complaint. um Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can get this to come up real quick. So he said he believes that his mother is having Sundowner syndrome in a text message. Sundowner syndrome is a term referencing a form of confusion or cognitive decline that can emerge in the late afternoon or evenings in certain individuals. Um, and I believe that he said something about his mother telling him, if she is not um together, stop her from performing. I don't know if his mother had that daggone conversation with him, y'all. I can't. I can't with the son. And I'm just gonna be for real about it. Gladys Knight has since then given a response and says she's healthy and happy after her son accuses her, right? This is according to People Magazine, an article in People Magazine on August 15th. Um, she said that these claims are unfounded. Gladys said in a statement her health and performances have been misrepresented. She says that her son tells people that he believes his stepfather is mentally and financially. The publicist said that her son has had no substantial contact with her, which he says is inaccurate. So they said Gladys had came out, this is according to an article in People Magazine, assuring her fans that she's healthy and happy after her son lodged this complaint. Um, she has been on the Queen's tour since May with Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, and Stephanie Mills, and currently has 11 shows scheduled for September through December. The Midnight Train to Georgia, a songstress, expressed his concern for his mother in another interview with People, claiming that her busy touring schedule was detrimental to her health and came largely at the behest of her husband. In a statement shared with People, Gladys painted a different picture, saying she has enjoyed her time on the road and is doing well. She said, in quotes, "I'm sorry that my health and performances have been misrepresented. I want my fans and those concerned to rest assured I am doing very well for someone who has been on stage for 3/4 of a century. Hard to believe, right? She then went on to say, end quotes, I'm healthy and happy and visiting friends and family these last few months. I'm excited to get back on the road with my sisters and on stage with the Queen's Tour. And I'll see y'all soon. Meanwhile, her son, okay, has, he said, while his mother has not expressed to him a desire to stop, he believes she's on cruise control and has in recent years struggled with her memory, citing an instant in the past on New Year's Eve in which his mom allegedly did not know who he was for 45 minutes. He had previously told the Shade Room about another instance where his mom allegedly walked out from a hotel they were staying at and ended up across the street. Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe that? Let me put a poll in the chat. Let me put a poll in the chat. I'm going to add one more option. So I put a poll in the chat. Do you believe the son's allegations? Yes, no, kind of. It depends. Okay? And we'll come back to this. So so the husband said, I did my best. No, the son said, I did my best to give her husband the space to play the role of a husband and do what was in my mom's best interest. And he has not done that. First of all, that is her husband. What do you mean you gave him the space to play? If she married him, there's no play. It's real. It is what it is. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. And if you felt like or you feel like he has not done the best or taken the best care of your mom, you should have been done something about it and not have had to resort to going to telling everybody, but actually doing what you need to do. If you have seen this over the years, why wait now? What now is happening? He says, why is she working? But for her, maybe this isn't work. Maybe this is something that she wants to do. I'm just giving out, I'm just playing both sides of the thing because I'm just asking the question for you all to ponder. Lisa Lynn asks a very great question. Has she been diagnosed? Does he go to his mother's doctor's appointment? Is he getting a report about it? Thank you much better today. How does he know this? Are these assumptions? Or like Lisa Lynn said, has she been diagnosed? Is this based on science or just his imagination? I don't know. I know that, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he is concerned because at the end of the day, this is his mother. But that's all I'm giving him right now because we need some paperwork. Has she been diagnosed with this? Does her husband know something he doesn't know? Did she tell her husband, I feel like I have, this syndrome, sundown syndrome, and I want to go out and do this last concert? Because it could be that, right? She could be like, I just want to do what I used to do one last time. Gladys Knight is 80 years old. 80 years old. So she could have told her husband, I know I ain't all together there, boo. Because that's the thing about it. Pillow talk, husband and wife, it's hard to get in there and to understand what they talking about during their pillow time. What do they talk about over the dinner table? What are they sharing with each other when they have those quiet moments? You don't ever know. That is something that I grew up understanding when I got older, right? I understood it more because, when you young, you feel like, you can jump in your girlfriend business and say what you want to say. And then you realize she going to take it back to him doing pillow talk. And while the two of them get back together, right? And I'm just talking about girlfriends and boyfriends, right? And men friends. That pillow talk is stronger than anything that they confide in you in. How many of y'all know that? Put your hands up if you know how powerful pillow talk is. So today you her home girl. You are her home piece. She confided in you. But when she go and do that pillow talk, or he goes and do that pillow talk, now you the enemy and neither one of them really mess with you. You got to be careful about what you assume because you're not around when they're having those serious conversations over dinner or while laying together, right? Just having a chit chat. You don't know. And so you put your opinion on stuff, but is it actual or factual? Again, I really want to say, I do understand, right, his concern. But I'm also looking at him with the side eye. Okay, I see those hands going up. Thank you, Shanteria. Yazelle said, pillow talk can make you lose your money and hate mofos. Okay. Failed foster dog mom. Aw. She said, true. Now you're the enemy. Absolutely. Radella got her hand up. Okay. It's me, Angie. Pillow talk. Okay. Let me tell you. But keep your mouth off of people's stuff unless you really know what is going on. He claims he filed a complaint with the Department of Human Services in Buncombe County, North Carolina, earlier this month, and that caseworker showed up to Gladys's home the next day for an assessment. The case is allegedly ongoing. A spokesperson for the department did not immediately respond to their request. In a statement shared with People, Gladys publicist Laura said that Knight and her team are greatly saddened by his unfounded allegations, as he has had no substantial contact with her. In a quote that says she has not been on tour since June 1 and can't wait to begin touring again in September. The statement read, at this time, our lawyers have no choice but to explore any and all legal remedies due to his defamatory, comments. Her son calls the statement inaccurate and alleges that he has been purposely kept in a position of having minimal access to his mother, maintaining that her deterioration, has occurred over a period of years and it's very evident. He also added that they can say what they want. If her health has been misrepresented, then supply evidence of reliable and verifiable expert medical opinion that will stake their practice and reputation on their claim to the contrary. Now, her son, um, Hankerson, is Knight's son with music executive Barry Hankerson. She had previously won a legal battle against him in 2017. So that's what I want to talk about. Shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. But I want to mention, do I have that? Now, they're saying that Hankerson is Gladys' son from a second marriage. Um, they said that Gladys has been married to her current husband for over 20 years. And they, in 2001, in a private ceremony in California, they wedded each other. And they said since then, the couple have supported each other at various events, celebrated anniversaries, and spoken about how they've made their marriage work. Um, Her husband, I just want to give y'all this, her husband is a former consultant who has collaborated with Gladys on her music and supported her career on the road. Prior to them being married, Gladys was married to James Newman from 1960 to 1973. She was married to Barry Hankerson from 1974 to 1979. And of course, we all know she was married to Les Brown from 1995 to 1997. She is a mother of three children. She has a son, James Gaston Newman III, and Shanga, um, and a daughter by the name of Kenya Newman. She said that they said that her son James died from heart failure back in 1999. She is going to defend her husband. Yes, she is. She's going to defend her husband. But let me give you some of the background on why I'm kind of side-eyeing the son. Um, money is a strange thing. You heard people say people do strange things for some change. Money will break up any kind of relationship if it's the love of money. Because it's not money, it's the love of money that's the root of all evil. So like I said, when the son came out, I was kind of side eyeing it. And I'm gonna tell y'all why I was side eyeing it, because I was like, do I trust him? Like, Auntie, do you trust him? This looks like his prison picture, his mugshot. Auntie, do you trust him? Do you trust him, Auntie? Do I trust him? I don't know, y'all. Y'all don't know. I don't know. According to an article on WSBTV2 in Atlanta, agents shut down Gladys Knight Chicken and Waffle Restaurant on February 23rd of 2017. This was reported. Agents have shut down the former signature Gladys Knight Chicken and Waffles restaurant. Okay, they said only Action 2 News was there when agents raided the Midtown Atlanta restaurant Thursday afternoon and posted a letter on the door. Investigators says Gladys Knight's son owes sales tax but has not paid all of it. So I was like, what? So in another article that was a year before this almost, by WSBTV2 in Atlanta, Gladys Knight sued her son, demanding that he stop using her name. So according to the lawsuit, Gladys no longer wants her name and image on any sign or promotion for the chicken and waffle restaurant. The lawsuit claimed that her name and memorabilia the lawsuit claims that Gladys licensed her name and memorabilia to her son in 1999 for use in connection with the Gladys Knight Chicken and Waffle restaurant, right? Okay, where's the rest of the article? I need the rest of the article. Okay. Court documents say that in 2009, Gladys considered ending the agreement altogether due to what she perceived as mismanagement, but instead entered a verbal agreement which was contingent on her son protecting her name and reputation. The lawsuit mentioned both a state investigation and struggling business operation. Authorities, of course, raided. Do you hear me? Raided her Metro Atlanta Chicken and Waffles location in June and arrested her son on charges of theft and racketeering. He was accused at the time of stealing more than $650,000 in sales and withholding taxes with penalties and interest. He would owe more than $1 million, according to WSBTV2 in Atlanta. But in February, her street location that was in Peachtree City in Atlanta scored a 56 on their inspection. The location passed with a 90 on its reinspection, but the restaurant was under new management following his arrest. So I'm saying, do I believe the son? I'm asking myself that question. Do I believe him? Do I? Gladys was no longer, according to an article in CNN, after a heated legal dispute, legendary soul singer Gladys Knight name is no longer connected to the last of her three namesake restaurants. She took her name off. So, like I said, she had filed a lawsuit back in 2016, where she demanded that he stop using it. They said as of that Wednesday afternoon, the Peachtree location signage bore the same name it had when it opened. An employee answered the phone using the name Gladys Knight Chicken and Waffles. They said the online menu still offered the midnight train, Southern fried jumbo chicken wings, and one original waffle. These ads, I swear. Named for Knight's hit Midnight Train to Georgia. But in the field health inspection report on Monday of the week of August February 5th of 2017, it reported by the Atlantic Journal-Constitution the name listed as the restaurant address was the world famous Chicken and Waffles. So they said that the general manager at the time, Tammy Caldwell, confirmed that the new name was officially in place. She said the owner was in the process of updating signage and the website logo, but she said that she did not know when the changes would take effect. Her son's lawyer did not immediately respond to that. They said that the parties settled the lawsuit in January on undisclosed terms, uh, um, but the two restaurants were no longer in place. So let me tell you about her son's case. So let me wrap up the legal battle, okay? And this is why I'm side eyeing the son. And what he is alleging, y'all, like I said, what he is alleging could be possibly happening, but your reputation got everything. Like with your reputation out there, and his reputation is out there and it's questionable. So the legal battle over the restaurant, we all know that started in 2016. Her son's defense in the court filing, he countered sued by arguing that his mother lacked the mental capacity to revoke her name's uses. So he's been using this mental capacity against his mother, right? According to these court filings in AJC, he's been using this since 2017. In court filings, he countered by arguing that his mother lacked the mental capacity. So all the way back then, he thought something was wrong with his mother, or was allegedly implying that something was wrong with his mother's mental capacity. So anybody that knows about sundown, about dementia, it grows up and it matures into Alzheimer's. Any medical experts out there, let me know if I'm wrong. He said she lacked the mental capacity to revoke her own daggone name, suggesting she was being misinformed by the situation. Sundown only happens at sundown. It happens within hours at the end of the day. So she not up in the morning reading this. She not reading this during the news. In early 2017, a settlement was reached. By April 26th of 2017, her son was required to completely remove his mother's name, image, and all of her memorabilia from the restaurant. And this allowed Gladys to reclaim her intellectual property and potentially open a new establishment under her name in the future. That was cited by WS. Hold on, let me make sure. AGC, okay, and by WSOC TV. The restaurant chain was rebranded as world famous Chicken and Waffles. Several locations closed due to health violations and declining operations. That is in Ebony. The source is Ebony, WSBTV Channel 2, WSOC, AP News, and Wikipedia. Then in 2016, Georgia State Department of Revenue raided the restaurant, as I mentioned before, and her son was suspected of withholding over $650,000 in sales and payroll taxes, eventually totaling more than $1 million in unremitted funds, including penalties and interest. You can find that source in WSBTV channel, AP News, 11 Alive, Wikipedia, okay, and AGC. And at the same time, health inspections kept failing repeatedly. One downtown location flunked due to broken toilets and mold like growth on food items. In 2021, July 21st to be exact, her son pleaded guilty to charges of willfully failing to remit payroll taxes collected between 2012 and 2016, 4 years. Later that year, he was sentenced to 2 years in prison, followed by 1 year of supervised release, and ordered to pay over $1 million in restitution. So what happened to his mom's cognitive? So did he backpedal off of that? Did he change his mind about that? Did he change his mind about his mama? After he pled guilty, did he ever come back and say, well, I was you, like, I'm asking for a friend? Because prior in another article, he indicated in his countersuit was that his mother was declining mentally. That was almost 10 years ago. She would be, you know what? She wouldn't remember nothing. If he thought that she was declining in 2016, we're in 2025. She would be straight Alzheimer's by now, in my humble opinion, based on my experience. You talk about a midnight train to Georgia, she would know, in my opinion, what train she was on and whether or not it was going to Georgia or California. If what he was alleging, in my opinion, almost 10 years ago. And I don't know how many of you all have had people in your life who have had dementia and Alzheimer's, but it graduates and it changes. And it's one of the cruelest things, because while you got the shell of the person, you're able to touch them, hug them, see them. They're no longer there. All you see is that earthly bodysuit. But the person that you knew, you loved, you ate with, you conversated with, you prayed with, you walked with, you vacationed with, you've lived with, you loved is gone. And now it's a matter of making sure that they're comfortable, that they don't hurt themselves, and that they, when they come back in and out, right, that you could get a glimpse of who they used to be. If you've ever been around somebody with it, it's just hard. Tracy Craig said, my grandmother has that, and it was so sad to see. Lisa Lynn says, yes, I lost my father in February to Parkinson and dementia. And yes, they're not there in the last stages. It's horrible. I'm so sorry to hear that, y'all. Charlotte says, I have. It was so painful. I'm so sorry, y'all. The older you get, the more you see. So he was sentenced to 2 years in prison, followed by 1 year of supervised release, and paid in order to pay over $1 million in restitution. And he pled guilty to this. No contest, no contest, nothing. He pled guilty. This was basically a trademark suit. Hold on, y'all. Because my best friend is telling me they can give me this. So they're saying what needs to happen next is whether the North Carolina Health and Human Services will confirm a formal investigation outcome. If Gladys's legal team follows through with a defamation lawsuit against her son, and they said that any further statements from either party could shift the legal landscape of this. I don't know what's true and what's not. And I don't want to accuse him of anything, any wrongdoing other than what he's already been prosecuted for, because in this country, you are innocent until you are proven guilty of being a liar. So, as a content creator, I have to report fairly and just give you the facts and let you downtown in the comment section make a decision about what y'all think. Now, I did a poll, and the poll was 91 of you all who participated. Thank you all so much for participating in the poll. I appreciate that very much. I asked you all, do you believe the son's allegations? You all at 42% said no. At 36%, it came into kind of, it depends. And at 20% of y'all out of 90 people said, yeah, Auntie, I believe him. I am so curious to know. Let me put this in the chat. So there's the poll. Do you believe the son's allegations? No, 42%. Kind of. It depends, 36%. And yes, at 20%. And as I said, it was 91 people who participated. I swear I want to drop the phone lines. Is Ray Della still here? Let's see. She's still here. I'm going to drop the lines. You do not have to bring yourself up on camera. If you are members of Auntie's Advice and you want to hit the link, make sure it's up. And then I see your face. I'm going to open up the phone lines or the link for just a little second. It is just, it's very disheartening because, like I said, with age, there are things that change about you. You are just not sharp anymore. And You could be showing signs of something or think that you're very healthy, and someone around you is the one who is going, someone who loves you and is around you constantly is the one who's going to notice, okay, so he's not doing that anymore, or he's doing this. A lot of us find out about that our families could possibly have dementia, early onset Alzheimer's, and other cognitive delays, or you know things that are going on. It's going to be the person who is around you, but it appears that she's not around the son. So if anybody would see it, it would be her management, right? Those people who are around her, her caregivers, and that includes her husband. And again, we don't know what conversation she's had with her husband, and he may have said, you know what, this was her wish that she go out on tour one more time. She would have gave her girl Shaka Khan, she would pay the bill, and Stephanie Mills, and they having a good time on the road. And he may be thinking, like, I'm just playing devil advocate and giving some possibilities. He may say this is what's healthy for her to keep her cognitive skills up, right? Like, when my aunt first got diagnosed with dementia, I went and got those brain things, those coloring books that is supposed to reignite their brain. And they're really intricate, right? Like they got the littlest things, and I went and brought her the color pens and stuff like that so she could do that, right? Because they said that it would help stimulate her mind and stuff like that. Um, but it ain't gonna help but so much because there is no cure for it. Um, what you saying? Lisa Lynn says, my mom is 88 and sharp as a tack, witty AF. She cracks me up. Unless there's a medical record indicating she's cognitively impaired, he shouldn't be saying anything. And I agree. And maybe um Nikki said, I hate it if this is true. I love her. We all do. Thank you so much, Amy, for encouraging people to hit the like button. I think I'm gonna do a video on why people don't hit the like button. Error. Let me do the because one. Let me do that, sis. Exactly. She has a husband. I don't trust the son. I think a lot of people are kind of leery about the son. I know that he has had his issues and he's used this before. And that is why I wanted to bring up his past, because he used the same strategy in 2016. So which one is it? Again, one of the things, y'all, that could really split a family, in my opinion, is money, is the love of somebody else's money. And there are people who feel like they are entitled. Where are the other kids? Are the other kids saying anything? Or is it just the son? Okay, because I'm wondering why the daughter, is the daughter saying anything? I'm just wondering.
Can you hear me, Auntie?
I can hear you, babe. How you doing?
I'm good. Hanging in there. I saw that you was live, and I had been wondering about this when I saw this story. The first thing that came to my mind was, one, I hope it's not true. I love me some Gladys Knight, and two, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I remember a story with the son. I didn't remember all the details, and now you're giving that breakdown. I'm like, it's kind of like two things could be true. He could have seen some signs, but then if you haven't been around her like that, and just kind of knowing your history too, it make me a little sketchy on you, because it could just be like you said, you get older, certain things you don't remember that same way. Has she been diagnosed? Has she seen a doctor about this? Or are you just assuming and kind of giving her your own diagnosis? Like, that's all the questions
Mm-hmm.
that I would have. And I also feel like I was about to say the same thing when I came up. I heard you asking about the daughter, like the daughter, other friends and family. Are they bringing up anything? Even in today's society, everything goes on social media. I don't know how many
Mm-hmm.
times I've seen people say, even with Genuine and other younger artists, they be making jokes and sharing videos of them saying, they got us singing all the songs. They not even singing it. I want my money back. Why did I go to this concert? I feel like we would be seeing some videos and have more people talking about her if this is something that's
Mm-hmm.
happening all the time when she's performing. It could happen once in a while. I think everybody have those times, whether they going
Hell
through
yeah.
dementia or not, you know. So I just feel like more people would be kind of talking about it, and we're right now only hearing it from him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to feel about it because it's
Me.
not impossible, but it's also like, are you just trying to have a little money grab situation here? Are you trying to say she incompetent and she can't take care of things so you can take care of it? We know that happens too. Listen, my uncle ain't no millionaire, but he had his businesses. He suffered with dementia, and he had some people that was definitely playing around with him, trying to get him to
Mm-hmm.
sign things and all of that. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's unfortunate.
Absolutely. Because
Yeah.
there's always going to be an opportunist and somebody that's going to try to take advantage, right? But that's just who you are down to
Right.
the gutter, right? You just that type of gutter person. So,
Mhm.
but when I heard about it, the first thing I thought about was, wait a minute, did he,
Mhm.
and so sometimes, what do they say? A tiger doesn't change its stripes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like they don't.
Mhm.
And so it made me back up off of it, right? So hopefully we'll be able to get the information whether or
Mhm.
not this case is something that is ongoing, right? Because he's opened up the can of worms now, so social services has to get
Right.
involved.
Yes, they have to get involved. They have to investigate it. And like even with the husband, it's not like this is just some new husband that just popped in. He's been with her over 25 years and knew her even before that. So I just feel like she's
You
and
went
I have
out.
her other I'm sorry. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, say it again, say whatever you were saying.
I was saying like to not only say that her, mind is deteriorating, but also to accuse uh the husband. That's a big accusation to say that he's forcing her. Because I have heard other artists say that they can't retire. I don't really remember right now who it was, but I know it was like two or three older artists that was saying it's hard for them to retire. They have to keep on working. And I'm seeing like people have jokes when Smokey's performing, a couple of the old school ones. They be saying, "Why y'all don't go sit down?" But I say if they still enjoy it, because sometimes you go and sit down and that makes you deteriorate first,
Yes.
faster too. My dad don't want to retire for nothing. He's saying one more year for like the last 5, 6 years. Okay. And then he said even when he do retire, he gonna drive on the side. They still want to keep themselves busy. So I can't be mad at them for that either. Um so I think if she enjoys it and is not nothing else, going on, I feel like she should be able to enjoy it. And if she want to go sit down and relax, then she definitely have paid her dues, and she should be able to do that too. She still sound good, even if she do miss some of the words. Every
Yeah.
time I see something on her, she sound just like she been sounding for all these years.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. I think I saw something where she just kind of missed her cue, but again, like
Mm-hmm.
I said, Shaka at the Jazz Fest, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"What is going on?" Like seriously,
Yeah.
I was so sick of that screaming.
Right.
Like, oh my God, does she not remember any of these words?
Yeah.
And
And
like
I
I
was
said,
supposed to be going to see them next month, actually, the Queen's tour, because I love all of them. Shaka, Patty, Gladys, Stephanie. I'll be rocking all of them in here for years. Okay.
so are you going? You still going?
um. Yeah, my girlfriend invited me, so God willing, unless something happens, I'm trying to
Yeah,
make it.
go and enjoy yourself. Go
Yeah.
and enjoy yourself. And look, report back to us, right? We'll about
Yes,
what's
I
going on. But like
will.
I said, it's been a long time. that Patty has been missing her lyrics.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely. And she'll
and
make some stuff up, okay?
on the fly.
Yeah, she
Right. And
definitely will.
and because they have been in the business for so long, you make allowances for it. But if she
Yeah,
is blacking out like the son is saying,
yeah.
that's
That's
an
different. Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
That's totally different. And I would hope that these seasoned women in the business, right? If this is going on with Gladys, if the
Mm-hmm.
son is right, that these seasoned women would say, Gladys, let's talk. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? Let's
Yeah.
come on, girl, come on in this room. Anybody got her mid case? Gladys, we need to
Exactly.
you need to get off the tour.
Yeah.
If what her son is saying is true,
Yeah.
then these
Absolutely.
women need to, and I think that they would, Tamika. I don't know why I think that they would, especially Stephanie Mills,
Mm-hmm.
would just be like,
Yeah.
Patty, girl, let me talk to you. And then,
Right.
next thing you know, Shaka's walking past the door. Now, I don't know if Shaka's high, if Shaka's,
Right.
what Shaka's walking past, right, allegedly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I would hope that these women would love her enough to say, Gladys, it's time for you to put the mic down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or have a conversation with her and her husband at the same time, or her business manager, and say, look, because look at the stuff that's going on with Wendy. Wendy swears that she does not have dementia, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the way that I've been looking at Wendy, I'm like, Wendy, you got something.
Yeah.
So they say that denial is a river. Of course you're gonna be in denial,
Mm-hmm.
because you just not, you don't want to accept that you just not functioning the same. But I can tell when I'm not functioning the same.
Yeah.
I could, I'd be like, what is that number? Like, wait a minute. And even I had told my girlfriend in private, I was like, I went in the store and I could not remember what I was going in there. Now she's younger than me. I said,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't remember. She said, girl, I do that all the time. I go in the store and be like, wait a minute, what about, and so as I begin to talk to other people, they was like,
Mm-hmm.
do that all the time. I go in the store.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I get bad brain fog. I started getting it like a lot after
Yes.
COVID. And my doctor, one time I was literally on the phone with my girlfriend, and I'm saying, "Where's my phone? Where did I leave my phone?" And she did you put it here? Did you put it there? And then I said, "Girl, I'm talking to you on the damn phone, so you just as freaking bad as me." We fell out laughing so damn hard.
But that's what I was saying. At some point you realize, oh my God, now what? But my brain used to be
Yeah.
so sharp that I didn't have to do a list. Now I gotta do a list. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay. You're getting
Yeah.
older, but I
Yes,
hate that the son
absolutely.
is making
Yeah.
these accusations, and I hate how easy
Yeah.
it is to go to social media and make these kind of accusations of such a legendary figure in our
Mm-hmm.
lives. Gladys has
Yeah.
been with me since I've been living. And she's 80. So if it's time for her to hang it up, we'll understand.
Absolutely, yeah. She should be able to retire and enjoy herself, but I hope that's not the case. And if
I
it
hope
is, I
so
hope
too.
she gets the care that she needs to get, because like I said, I have had family members with Alzheimer's and dementia. I've worked with it for many years. I was in the healthcare field for over 20 years. I know what sundown is. That ain't no joke. So I don't wish that on nobody, and I don't think you should be making those type of allegations lightly. Even my cousin, she's only like 4 years older than me, and she was complaining about things with her memory, and they just diagnosed her with early Alzheimer's. So it's not even a thing of sometimes being old. Younger people are being diagnosed with
Absolutely.
it as well. Hmm.
Absolutely. And I know that there are days where I suffer with brain fog. And
Hmm.
I don't know what it is. It could be, the menopause, like because a lot of women experience brain fog while going through menopause. So it's so many different
Yeah,
things,
it's a long list of things with that menopause, honey. They don't be telling you all that stuff. They don't tell you all the things on the list.
it's so much with menopause. You just be
Yeah.
like, oh my God. but I was determined I wasn't getting nobody patches because I watched a couple of my girlfriends go through those patches. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I was like, no,
Yeah.
I would never get them estrogen patches. But that's just, that's me.
Right.
Some women,
Everybody's
right?
different.
Everybody's
Hmm.
different. But thank you so much for coming up and
Yeah.
giving your
Thank you
say
for
so.
having me.
I appreciate that so much, girly girl.
All right. Love you, Auntie. Love you, cousins. See you
Love
next
you
time.
too. So y'all, you know, we've said our say so. Now it's time for y'all to give us your say so. What do you think? Do you think that this is a money grab from the son? Do you believe, that it's a money grab from the husband? What do you believe? Do you believe that just because the son has been locked up before that doesn't take away from his credibility, or do you believe his credibility is affected by him being locked up before? Sound off downtown in the comments section. Keep the conversation going. Make sure you're respectful, and like Ray Della said, hit the subscribe button and join my other oh, somebody else came on. So you gotta be still, okay? Can you be still? Can you keep your camera steady? Hi,
Don't put me.
sweetie.
I don't want to be on the screen though.
Okay, turn your camera off.
Is that
There
right?
you go.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. All right.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you,
I'm
Auntie?
doing great. What say you?
I was just wanting to tell you that Alzheimer's has the life expectancy of like 8 to 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
and from diagnosis, and dementia has 4 to 5 years from diagnosis. And you said he was saying it like back in 2016.
Yes, he was.
Okay, so that wouldn't make much sense.
That's what I
From
thought. Thank you
yeah.
for coming with the math.
Okay, and then like the sundowning is there's no correlation for life expectancy on that either. It's just that's like treatment for that is like physical therapy. So, and a lot of that is you're not going to get much of that with a lot of the people with sundowning because they can't really do much of that. Some people can, but some people can't. So I was just wanting to let you know that because I've been a CNA for years. So I was wanting to let you know a little bit of that.
Is sundowning the early stages of dementia?
Yes, it is. It is. It does graduate into dementia and stuff. You're right on all that.
So sundowning starts first, then dementia, then Alzheimer's.
Dementia doesn't always start with sundowning. No,
Oh,
no. It doesn't always have to start with sundowning. You don't always have, sundowning doesn't always correlate with dementia either. You can get dementia without having sundowning first.
okay.
So you can just have dementia without sundowning first.
Wow. And
Yeah.
sundowning is really means
When the
after a
sun
certain
goes down.
hour, when the sun goes down.
Yeah, as soon as the sun goes down, their total attitude changes. They get mean and sometimes violent, and yeah, they're not very nice.
Wow. Lisa says in the comments, sundowning is a symptom of the disease.
What you mean by the symptom of the disease?
I don't know.
Dementia? Dementia?
I think so.
Probably yes. Yeah, it is a symptom of it. Yeah,
Wow.
it graduates into dementia, yes.
Oh
So,
my.
but yeah, as soon as the sun goes down, like around supper time and stuff, as soon as the sun goes down, that's why they called it sundown, sundowning. Because as soon as the sun goes down, it's like as soon as it gets dark, their total attitude changes. Has to do with it getting dark. As soon as the sun goes down and it gets dark, it puts them into a different mood, a different type of mood, and that's when their mood changes. Is when it starts to get dark.
And so when they get up in the morning, they're fine as long as the
Yeah,
sun. So what
yeah.
about winter months when you have an extended darkness time, right? On the East Coast
Then
at least, the lights start coming on the street corner around six.
Then it lasts longer.
Oh, right, because we're going into that time now, right?
Yeah.
So it gets worse, like in the winter months.
Well, I wouldn't say it gets worse. Their moods last longer because the darkness is, it gets darker around 6, 7 o'clock. It gets, they last longer for them instead of 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Then, because when I used to take care of them, we'd put them to bed at 9, 10 o'clock at night. Then it wouldn't be as bad for them because they would go to sleep earlier or later instead of having to be up at 6, 7 o'clock. And then they'd have all evening to last with having to deal with that and then going to bed 9, 10 o'clock. But when it got dark at 9 or 10 o'clock, it'd be bedtime for them.
Is there a medicine that they're given to help them with
Usually,
that?
yeah, usually Seroquel. They would take Seroquel.
Wow. Someone asked the question, and I think you probably answered that. Does it make them anxious or afraid? I would think it would,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They get real anxious.
which
So
is what makes the personality change.
yeah, because they don't understand. It's kind of like, with like she said, like the symptoms of dementia. They don't understand what's going on really, and they're kind of confused, and they're not all themselves. You know, so yeah, it's difficult to watch them go through that and calm them
That
down.
sounds like it. Oh my God, that sounds like it. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much for coming up and educating us.
No, you're welcome. I just wanted to give you that information because it didn't sound right when you said 2016. I was like, gosh, that doesn't make the timeline right. And, he doesn't sound like a very good guy, especially to
Yeah,
be doing that to his mother. I just can't believe right now you're hearing so many things come out with kids like filing things against their parents. I would never think to do anything like that against my mom. Even if I was mad at
yeah,
her and didn't talk to her, I would never think to file claims against her. That's your
yeah. I'm
mom.
gonna take these out, sweetie pie, just so it just in case they don't want that in here. So I'm gonna take this out, okay? No offense to you, but I'm gonna just go ahead and take it out. I don't want you two to be reading that and think we talking about something else.
Oh, are you talking bad about me over there?
No, 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 no. She was
Oh,
listing
okay.
the name of some drugs, and I just didn't want it
Oh,
to be in the comment section, and they think
oh,
we talking about something else.
oh,
But
okay.
anything else you want to give us?
No, that's all. I was just want to tell you that because it didn't
Thank
make
you,
sense to me.
Angie. I
You're welcome, honey.
appreciate you.
It's nice to meet you.
You too,
All right.
sweetie.
Good night, honey.
Bye.
Bye bye.
So that was some good, really good information. Thank you, Angie, so much for calling in. Um, you learn something new every day. I wasn't even aware of that, right? I just wasn't aware of it. So I appreciate her giving us that information. So again, thank you all so much for taking the polls. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for attending my auntie Say It Isn't So. And until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. And keep Gladys Knight and her family in your prayers. Bye, y'all.